On this episode, Belinda Hatt and I talk about the latest research into living walls, biofilters, treatment of both stormwater and wastewater, and how all this ties in with ornamental plants. Hey everyone, welcome back to Ideanthro. Coming to you again today from the CRC for Water Sensitive Cities third conference. This one has been in Perth. I'm joined today by Belinda Hatt, and we are going to be talking about how do we combine bioretention systems, living walls, rainwater, treatment and reuse all into one space. But before we get there, Belinda, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself so people have got some context as to why we're having this chat?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So I am 4 months into a new stint as a consultant.
Yep.
Prior to that, I was working as an academic for 15 years at Monash Uni, and most of that time I was working on development of stormwater control measures, mostly biofilters, other vegetated treatment technologies, looking at how we can use these systems to protect waterways, but also to provide alternative sources of water.
Yeah. So essentially, if you've ever built a bioretention system in Australia and the specs or media suggestions or plant types, this probably in some way harks back to the Monash research.
Yeah.
You've probably had some hand in that, so over time. So that's cool. Okay. So in this particular instance, though, your research has evolved a little bit to look at dealing with a couple of challenges. One of which being, okay, we know that green infrastructure makes sense and has lots of benefits, but where do we actually stick it in a highly constrained urban environment?
Yeah.
And two, the challenge of, okay, biofilters work and they work well, but in extended dry periods, how do we keep the plants alive because the plants are really important?
Yeah.
So where have you been going to try and deal with those two issues together? What's the gist?
Sure. So one of the things that over the years as we've been doing all this research on biofilters, the filter media, the specs around the filter media has become progressively tighter. And if you look at the filter media that goes into a biofilter, you would never describe it as a soil.
No.
It's a sand.
Yep.
How on earth are the plants supposed to survive in that? And it's got to be. The reasons that it's a sandy media is because we're trying to balance being able to filter water through the system in a fast enough time that then you can deal with the next storm as it's coming in.
Yep.
But you need to balance that against supporting a healthy plant community.
Yeah, and people who've watched other videos will be familiar with this because it's a topic I'm interested in for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that challenge.
Yeah, but we're also trying to ensure that we're removing nutrients and nitrogen in particular. Nitrogen is the hardest pollutant to remove from stormwater. And so we found that it really needs to be a sandy material because otherwise any materials that are being removed by plants is probably being countered by leaching.
Yeah, and it's particularly when you say it needs to be a sandy material, that's particularly the case of it needs to not have huge amounts of organics.
That's right, yeah.
The fact that it's sandy also relates to the fact that you're not wanting huge amounts of fines to cause flooding.
Right, yes.
Which is separate but related.
Yeah.
But in this instance, it's not lots of organics, which then makes it hard for plants to survive in.
So all of that, yes, exactly. So all of that, sure, we're removing the nitrogen, but we also know that the sandy material's got a really low water retention capacity, and so plants struggle in between rainfall events, particularly if you've got long periods between rainfall. So what we've been looking at, past research that we've done is looking at using a submerged zone, and that's shown some benefits, mostly because it provides a water source to keep plants alive, but I think we're taking it to the next level and thinking about, well, these systems are dormant, they're not doing anything when it's not raining. And so that sort of adds another issue to that work. So plants are struggling to survive and these systems are also not doing anything. So can we use these systems to treat another source of water when it's not raining?
Yep.
We started off initially doing some work in Israel, coupling a stormwater treatment system with, and so Israel has very low rainfall in general, but it's also has very distinct wet and dry periods, and so did some testing to look at can we use this system to treat stormwater during the wet season and then groundwater during the dry season, and had some real success there. So now what we've been thinking about is in the Australian context, can we treat grey water during the dry period? And so grey water we mean wastewater from a residential or a commercial building, and mostly what we started off looking at light grey water, so that's grey water from basins and showers that excludes laundry kitchen water. So
and excludes toilet water as well.
Yes.
obviously.
Toilet water is not black water.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
it's
not
grey
grey water. It's
it's
definitely
black
black water.
water.
Yeah. So it's it's a water source, but it's not the most highly polluted
That's
in
right.
the first instance.
Yeah.
So
So sort of starting there as a starting point to see can we combine a system, and so there's interesting questions around that because the inflow dynamics are really different. So stormwater, you've got intermittent rainfall events, large inflow volumes, which is contrast with grey water where you've got a fairly steady supply at lower flow rates. And so how can a system cope with that?
And so I was as soon as you were mentioning that, I thought immediately went to, well, in a normal bioretention system, we know that if you have a constant base flow coming, you start to grow algae, which I talked about in an episode just recently.
Yes.
Have you encountered that with the grey water?
Well, so you're being very aware of that biofilters are designed to be ephemeral systems. They're not designed to have constant inflow. So the way that we've been testing them, and so we're at the lab stage at the moment, the way that we've been testing them is by dosing them once a day.
Okay.
And so if you think about that from an operational perspective, what that would mean is that grey water would go into some holding tank for a short period of time, less than 24 hours, and then it would be pumped into the system.
Yep. Gotcha. Yeah.
So there is still that element of wetting and drying.
Yes.
But it's shorter cycles than the stormwater system.
Okay. Now, where does this? So it strikes me that if we're going to start treating grey water, and if we don't want to replicate an entirely new drainage network, that this then implies putting treatment systems close to source in the catchment there. Is that why then the concept where this makes sense to also then have a conversation about living walls? Is that why that came up in the conversation? Or?
Yeah, so I suppose they're the two real practical issues that we've been thinking about. So we know that biofilters are scalable and to their catchment, but the reality is still space is a premium. Space is a increasing premium as we move into a denser urban environment, and so we're thinking about where do we put these things? And so we're starting to think about can we go vertical? Can we build living walls? And so living wall, it could be think about a linear trench that perhaps runs along the side of a building.
Yep.
That trench might be below ground, or it might be in some sort of planter box.
Yeah, you see lots of commercial buildings, like in the city, that have a planter box out front. So I mean, it's screaming out to be converted into something.
Some sort of treatment system.
Yep.
And so the idea is that then you would have a climbing story, climbing plants that would be growing, say, up a trellis or perhaps up directly onto the wall itself, and then some lower story species as well.
And this is the distinction here, because you're talking about living walls, which are rooted in the ground and climb, as opposed to green walls where the meat is on the facade. Yeah. Okay. So where has that? Has that option had any trials yet, or is that still conceptual? Like we could
go the green
go
down the green wall. Yeah, we have been doing some green walls. The green walls have been around. We've been looking at can you design green walls to treat grey water rather than storm water.
Yep.
Just the idea being that it's from an operational perspective. You think about if you were to build a green wall on a multi-storey building, and you've got multiple levels at which grey water is being generated, and so you've got multiple levels that water is entering the system.
Okay. Yep. And so what comes next in this space? There's been lab trials for the bioretention, combining both grey water and storm water. There's been a bit of work into the living wall space. And noting the fact that you're not you've moved into private practice now. Where is the research likely to go in the next phases of this?
Yeah, so I suppose the next stages of the research. So we've done the pilot studies at the lab scale, and now, as with any lab scale, it's really important to validate that at the field scale. So that's where the next piece of work is going.
Yeah. So finding sites and putting it in the real world.
So we have got a couple of sites where we have been doing some testing of the grey water and the stormwater systems, but there's only really preliminary results that are coming out of that at the moment.
Okay.
So that's for the living walls. What's coming next is field scale validation of the green walls.
Okay, right. So wastewater through actual green walls. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. If someone's interested in this topic and they want to know more, where should someone go to? I mean, noting it's a work in progress, but where should someone go?
Yeah. So the team at Monash, which has been led by Anna Dalacic, who has just recently moved to the University of New South Wales. She's a point of contact, as is David McCarthy, who's still at Monash. But I'm a point of contact as well, because whilst I say I've moved into consulting, I've still got a small role at Monash because I'm still lucky enough to be able to continue supervising the students who are working on this research.
Yeah, which is a nice position to be in. To
Yeah.
have a foot in both private practice and research.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. Look, I think that's a good taste. People have got somewhere where they can go and find out more. Is there anything else that you feel that we should add to this conversation?
What else were we talking about at the start?
I think we've gone mostly there.
Yeah, well, we were talking about ornamental species.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yep. Let's.
It's a slightly different topic, but maybe we can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go there. So, go for it.
Yeah. All right, so all of the work that's been done on stormwater biofilters up until the last few years is really focused on native plants, and that's sort of the underlying premise for that is that native plants, well, I suppose plants that are indigenous to a particular area are adapted to the natural wetting and drying cycles.
Yep.
So the hypothesis is that then they're going to be best placed to thrive in a biofilter.
Yeah. Although arguably the fact that you have a plant adapted to the natural wetting and drying cycle, say Perth, where we are, doesn't mean that Perth's natural wetting and drying cycle is like a biofilter. Well, or even like a biofilter in Perth, in the sense that maybe a Perth, riparian plant might be used to it, but a Perth plant that lives, I don't know, wherever in the hills or something, might not be. So there is still there's still an element that not every Perth plant is right for a Perth biofilter.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. So it's thinking about the plants in a local area that naturally occur in an area where there are alternate wetting and drying.
Yes.
And I think, given that the extremes that can happen in a biofilter, because when it does rain, if you're sizing it at 2% of the catchment, you're getting 50 times as much water as what would fall directly on it. So that increases the range of wetting and drying conditions. But anyway, that's why we started with natives. But the feedback we get is that not everybody likes the look of native plants.
Yeah, or even if people do, because I do, but it just doesn't mean that I think we should put them everywhere.
No, and
if we got the park across the road there are lots of natives in that park and it's really nice, but there might be occasions where it's just not the look someone's going for.
It's not the look, yeah. And I suppose that's the reality, and that's the feedback, some of the feedback that's come from some of the research out of the CRC, that public acceptance of rain gardens is highest when it matches the surrounding landscape.
Yes.
And so if you're in an area where you've got a much more manicured landscape, then that's the sort of plants that people are looking for. So we've been looking at ornamental species, looking at both climbing species and lower story species, things like Strelitzia, climbing species like Boston ivy and grapevine, and other flowering species, canna lilies, which are beautiful when they're flowering, and provide that point of difference because they've got different coloured foliage.
Yep.
And so we're looking at trying to understand what types of ornamental plants might or might not be good.
Yep.
And both from their ability to thrive within a system, remembering that not every plant that goes into a biofilter needs to go in there for functional reasons.
Well, this is exactly the point. So at the moment, because correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially the research says if 50% of the plants are good functional plants, you can do whatever else you want with the rest. But so that means at the moment where most of our research is about natives, if you want a system that's got ornamentals that you want to put ornamentals into, they have to make up 50%.
Yeah.
But if we find some species that are functional and ornamental, then they could be replacing some of the functional 50% as well. And you could theoretically have a system that is entirely made up of ornamentals, if that's appropriate.
That it deals with both the functional and the aesthetic objectives. So I think this research has been there's been a lot of interest in that research, because really we want to be able to broaden the palette of plants that you can choose to put in a biofilter.
Yeah, and I think that's good. So where in the research stage is that? Has stuff been published on that? Is it still coming along?
Yeah, there's stuff coming. There's some conference papers that are out there, and there's some journal papers that are either under review at the moment or already have been published from the greywater perspective.
Okay.
So there's some work that's out there, and they're coming out in the new guidelines that we're doing for the CRC. Okay. So like the stormwater biofilter adoption guidelines that we produced a couple of years ago, there's guidelines that are coming for living walls for greywater and stormwater treatment.
Yeah, awesome.
And the green walls, and so a whole range of different plant species.
Cool. Okay, that's really good. That's something we can really look forward to, and I'm sure similar to a few minutes ago, if someone's dying to find out about that now, I'm sure it's the case of contact
Yeah,
you guys,
absolutely.
the usual crew to
Yeah.
get a hold of it. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
You should see the green walls that we've been testing in the lab. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, well, maybe I need to. I mean, you were saying before about someone I need to come visit in Melbourne. Maybe I just need to make a trip to Melbourne and
So,
come see. Okay.
yeah, maybe wait a few months. It's pretty cold at the moment.
What are you suggesting? I can't handle the cold.
Oh no, not at all. But you might not like the cold.
Yeah.
Unless you're into skiing.
I do actually like the
good snow season.
winter sports side of things. So cool.
We
Okay.
can look forward to seeing you soon in Melbourne.
Yeah, possibly. Okay, cool. Let's wrap that up, Belinda. Thank you for taking the time to have a chat.
My pleasure.
Thank you all for tuning in. If you're interested in this, by all means, look into it some more. Contact Belinda and the rest of the crew. So, sweet. We'll see you later.